Hello everyone and welcome to the highlights of the ESL European Multi-Class Championship, my personal highlights. And as you can see straight away I've made a mistake into the chicane, so I quickly get out of the way of Michael's lap, just in case he's on a bit of a flyer. And then continue on for my fastest lap of qualifying, which is also my last lap, which is pretty nice to be honest. So getting the lap under a bit of pressure. I'm going to do a bit of a track guide for this first qualifying lap. So I'm going to head down towards the first corner, and your braking zone for this, in the LMP car at least, is just that curb there. You want to get right tight on the inside, and you can see that I just missed the apex, only by a tiny bit, but it cost me about half a tenth there as I come into this corner. I stay in second. I want the curb to bring me around a little bit, short shift to third, and then head down here. On this left-hander, you want to try and get on that white stuff a little bit. It'll pull you around, and then flat out through the right. I don't make it flat out, and unfortunately, my first sector is 2 tenths down on my potential best that I know I can do. So into this left-hander, third gear. You want to stay tight here, stay tight to the left, then come to the right and try and hit that apex. Once again, just missing out. That's half a tenth, forward tenth on that corner. And we now head down towards the hairpin. So at the hairpin, you want to brake around that where the position board is on the right side. Come into this. It doesn't really matter about your entrance. It's all about the exit here. So I stay in second, flat out round that corner as we head to the Schumacher S's. And through the left, through the right. It's all flat out in an LMP car. And head towards the end of sets 2. 34.4 is what I get. 34.3 is a PB, but 34.4 is still very good nonetheless. As we come through this right-hander, you got to be careful about the exit. Sometimes it's worth braking there to get a better exit than just letting off and running slightly wide. As we then head towards the chicane. Now the chicane is a white line across the track. Just brake just after that. Drop to first gear. Try and chuck the car in. As you can see there, and then short shift to second. Michael's obviously made a mistake at the end of his lap. As we now approach the final corner. So in second gear we go around. You might want to short shift to third. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I do a little bit there and then head towards the line for a 1:44.6. It's a good lap nonetheless. I think a 1:44.2 is my potential best. See there, Michael 33.1, 34.4. He was also on for a good lap but messed up the chicane. So that was my fastest lap, and I do qualify in second place. So here's the start of the race. And as we get ready, I get a good start there. You can see that, I nail that bang on. You can see I just get a bit of a start on Michael, but a bit of lag there, and Michael jumped ahead, and then I suddenly start catching once again. So coming into this first corner, unfortunately for second place, it's a bit of a disadvantage, and you can see driver 1 on the inside there taking good advantage of that disadvantage of starting in second, and takes that second place spot there. So I've got Kaki behind me. I've got 2 quick guys in front of me. Kaki's quick as well, of course. So now it's all about trying to maintain the position, get into a bit of a rhythm for the race, and then continue on after that. So I'm going to be stuck behind driver 1 on this first lap, and then I'll go through some of my thoughts behind that. You can just see on the left hand side, Unity Smokey disconnected. You just see the blue line there. I'm not sure whether that was due to a mistake on the first corner or whether he just generally disconnected. So I continue on now behind driver 1. After a fairly good start. Unfortunate about losing second place, but I'm happy here. You know, Michael, driver 1, they were quick guys. We were the top 3 in that qualifying, and we were a couple of attempts ahead of everybody else. So at this point I'm settling down, thinking, okay, third's a good result anyway. Second place would be better, so I could put a bit of pressure on driver 1, but of course we've got dirty air. So dirty air in LMP cars, especially when you're in that second margin, it's quite tricky to get good laps. You see driver 1 just making a little bit of mistakes, so I know he's on the edge a little bit. But being in the dirty air, I'm not going to get the 1:44 4s, 5s, 6s that I know I can consistently get. So you can see that gain a lot on driver 1 in the chicane, and that's where he loses out the most time. Later on in the race, Matty told me driver 1 is slower there for him as well. So definitely something to look out for. And Matty obviously fighting driver 1 later on in the race. So you can see the gap to Mangator increasing. Kaki's made a mistake at the chicane. I'm not sure whether it's a penalty or not, but the gap will continue to increase. I think it ends up being at 3.5 seconds. And yeah, so that's what it will end up as. And at this point I'm thinking, where can I overtake driver 1? You know, I'm in dirty air. I'm going to have to take some bit different lines to normal to try and stay out of the dirty air. As you can see there on the left there, I was a bit more out the dirty air, so it meant I had a good run on the right hander. And then I continue on towards this corner and point 2 there again. So I'm just looking to try and stay out of the dirty air as much as I can. Now, later on in the race, I'm thinking GT cars, that's a potential place I could try and overtake driver 1 because he'll slow up for the GT cars. I can really catch up. Perhaps a GT car might get in the way accidentally. Potential of overtaking there. So these races, just to go a bit off topic, are live streamed. There's live commentary by Rene, who commentates on the Forza Championship, of course. There's a link in the description to the live stream channel. So if you go and follow that channel, obviously you'll get an alert. And the races are generally on a Saturday at 4 PM GMT or 5 PM CMT. Obviously, when we pass the daylight savings time, those times will slightly change, I imagine. I'll have to double check. But even so, you know, the live stream's there. And there's also a link to a schedule as well. It's not all every Saturday, the majority of Saturdays going forward. But there's a break over Easter. There's a break after the 3rd race this weekend, because there's a promotion race next week, and that's what I'm trying to avoid at this point at the Nurbugring. So I'm trying to avoid the relegation zone. So you can see now, as we start lap number 4, I caught up to driver 1 on that last lap. These are just the highlights, of course, I'm not going to show you everything. I'm looking, ooh, shall I go down the inside? So I forced driver 1 to go to the inside a little bit. He does. I'm thinking, ooh, cut back, but unfortunately he gets a good exit, as do I, but I'm still stick behind him. So yeah, back to the relegation thing. I'm trying to avoid the relegation zone because this weekend on the 18th, the 18th is my birthday, so I can't practice as much. I'm still racing, of course, but I wanted to avoid that. And being in 3rd at this point in the race, I'm accepting that this is a good result. 2nd place would be even better, but we'll see what happens in the race. And as you can see, the gap to Mangator now up to 2 seconds, and as I say, it'll go over 3.5 seconds later on in the video. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because of the event that's going to come up very shortly in the video of what happens in the race. So unfortunately, I don't come 3rd and I don't come 2nd. I don't win it either, but something will happen, which is really, really frustrating. And basically I get disconnected. So, and it gets even more frustrating because I'm in a party, so you can see on the left, I've got my headset on, I've got a microphone on. I'm in a party with Matty, who's my teammate, who's also racing. He's in 6th or 7th at this point, I believe, fighting with Okaroka. But we're talking, we're discussing things, you know, where are you, what's happening in the race. We did at Spa as well, we said, you know, where are the GT cars, is that all the GT cars and things like that. And I didn't get disconnected from that party chat, however I get disconnected from Project Cars, even though there was no real lag. So this is the lap now, start lap number 9. We're just about halfway through the race. You can see the gap, as I say, 3.5 seconds now to Mangator. You see the GT cars on the map on the left hand side, they're just ahead as well, so it's getting to strategy and tactics time. Do I want to go for this driver 1 position? I've dropped to 1.2 seconds. Driver 1 had a good few laps, 1:44.5 I think he got. And in dirty air you can't get 1:44.5, so it's down to 1:44.6, 7 I was getting at that point. And then from this point on, I obviously can then go for the quicker laps. So yeah, I'm thinking, okay, strategy, GT cars coming up, I'm going to make sure I'm prepared for any mistake driver R1 does as we approach the hairpin. You can see Michael in the distance as well. Michael could make a mistake as well, potential win maybe. But obviously all the guys are extremely quick in this lobby, so you've just got to take it as it comes, look at the next position on, see what you can do, and then go on from there. So you come through the Schumacher S's, the disconnect's about to happen, and when it happens you will see how gutted I actually was. If you look at the left hand side, it's just after this corner, look how gutted I was. At first I thought perhaps everyone got disconnected, but then I found out it wasn't, it was just me. And I'm still not sure why. I was in a party, got disconnected, and it's a bit of a treble whammy. So I obviously love esports, but the treble whammy was I was really quick here, so potential for a second. Driver R1 did make a mistake shortly after this, so that was going to be a second. And Andy Tudor, the creative director of Project Cars, was also watching, so it's like a treble whammy. You know, all these things happened, and it also meant I'm now in the relegation zone. But I will try and come back strong at Donington this Saturday on the 18th. So do make sure you tune in to the live stream, and the highlights once again will be on Tuesday. And if you want to support me, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And the video for the first race highlights is also there now. But that's it. So you saw the disconnect. You saw how gutted I was. Obviously, all that practice and the fact I was quick there, really frustrating. But I'll come back bigger, better, and stronger at Donington, and hopefully, perhaps not even fighting for second, perhaps getting that win. But I'd say that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.